All right, we're gonna go back and watch this video again. I'm gonna give you guys 2 articles you should read. I've shared these in a couple of other presentations. Okay, and then we're gonna have a discussion once we watch this video again. Okay, and I'm gonna comment this time. I'll stop and comment. Here we go.
Yes.
Mr. Jobs, you're a bright and influential man.
Here it comes.
It's sad and clear that on several counts you've discussed, you don't know what you're talking about. I would like, for example, for you to express in clear terms how, say, Java, in any of its incarnations, addresses the ideas embodied in OpenDoc. And when you're finished with that, perhaps you could tell us what you personally have been doing for the last 7 years.
All right, so the way that Jobs does this is he has his team at Apple do assigned seating in the arena, in the room. So he knew by the area of the room where this guy answered the question and by where he sat down, which Apple development partner company he was with. Okay, so number one, Jobs knew who this guy worked for just based on where he was sitting in the room.
You know, you can please some of the people some of the time.
What he did was he used an anachronism here, right? He used a maxim to get everyone in the room to relate directly to him for his subsequent response.
But one of the hardest things when you're trying to affect change is that people like this gentleman are right.
He sets a premise that this is no longer the status quo. When we're trying to affect change, we're not doing it the way we used to do it, number one. And number two, he intentionally uses the term gentleman so that no one could interpret that he responded defensively.
In some areas. I'm sure that there are some things OpenDoc does, probably even more that I'm not familiar with, that nothing else out there does.
He acknowledges to this guy that what you said was true. In some form, what you just said, what you are intimating is true.
And I'm sure that you can make some demos, maybe a small commercial app that demonstrates those things. The hardest thing is, how does that fit in to a cohesive, larger vision that's going to allow you to sell $8 billion, $10 billion of product a year?
You can do a proof of concept, okay? Yeah, I guarantee that you can do a proof of concept. Part of what you said is right, and I guarantee that you could do a proof of concept that's going to demonstrate value with what you're talking about. But that doesn't matter because it's not part of our strategy.
And one of the things I've always found is that you've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology.
The reason why it's not part of our strategy is because you care about the technology, that is the optimal technical way of coding this, more than you care about the impact or the results. We start with the customer experience, that's impact and results, and work our way back.
You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it. And I've made this mistake probably more than anybody else in this room. And I've got the scar tissue to prove it.
I'm the fucking expert here. I've already done this. And I'm the fucking expert. Okay?
And I know that it's the case. And as we have tried to come up with a strategy and a vision for Apple, it started with what incredible benefits can we give to the customer? Where can we take the customer?
We have a new strategy and a new vision, and it focuses on the customer experience first.
Not starting with, let's sit down with the engineers and figure out what awesome technology we have, and then how are we going to market that.
That's what you've been doing for the last 7 years, and we're not doing that anymore.
And I think that's the right path
I'm the CEO, and we're going to do it my way.
to take. I remember with the laser writer, we built the world's first small laser printers, you know.
When I was the CEO.
And there was awesome technology in that box. We had the first Canon laser printing, cheap laser printing engine in the world, in the United States here at Apple. We had a very wonderful printer controller that we designed. We had Adobe's PostScript software in there. We had AppleTalk in there. Just awesome technology in the box. And I remember...
I know a thing or two about technology too, Dick.
Seeing the first printout come out of it. And just picking it up and looking at it and thinking, you know, we can sell this. Because you don't have to know anything about what's in that box. All we have to do is hold this up and go, do you want this? And if you can remember back to 1984,
Results and impact.
before laser printers, it was pretty startling to see that. People went, whoa, yes. And that's where Apple's got to get back to. And, you know, I'm
For the last 7 years, that hasn't been your focus.
sorry that OpenDoc's a casualty along the way. And I readily admit there are many things in life that I don't have the faintest idea what I'm talking about. So I apologize for that too. But there's a whole lot of people working super, super hard right now at Apple. You know, Avi, John, Garino, Fred. I mean, the whole team is working, burning the midnight oil.
You think you insulted me, you picked a fight with the entire team.
Trying to, and people, you know, hundreds of people below them, to execute on some of these things, and they're doing their best. And I think that what we need to do, and some mistakes will be made, by the way. Some mistakes will be made along the way. That's good.
Make mistakes, recover quickly.
Because at least some decisions are being made along the way.
You haven't been making decisions for the last 7 years. Paralysis by analysis.
And we'll find the mistakes, we'll fix them. And I think what we need to do is support that team.
We need to support that team. Not you need to support that team. We need to support that team. It was him, again, drawing a connection between him and the audience. And now what he's done is drawn a contrast. You're either with the old way or you're with the new way.
Going through this very important stage as they work their butts off. They're all getting calls, being offered 3 times as much money to go do this, do that. The valley's hot. None of them are leaving.
I'm such a great leader that people stay here working for me for a third the amount of money they could be making somewhere else. Why? The mission.
And I think we need to support them and see them through this and write some damn good applications to support Apple out in the market. That's my own point of view. Mistakes will be made. Some people will be pissed off. Some people will not know what they're talking about.
Don't fuck with me.
But I think it is so much better than where things were not very long ago.
You've been doing it wrong for 7 years. Okay, that's what while I was gone, you've been doing it wrong for the last 7 years.
And I think we're going to get there.
All right. And so hopefully, let me ask you guys this question. Let me stop sharing here before we're going to get ready to call it here. After this presentation, do you view what Jobs did there any differently? And if you have, why? If you haven't, why not? Cheryl says, clearly he's practiced this type of response. So it comes across to me as a performance, one that he knows is very effective. Outstanding observation. Does anyone think that Jobs winged that response? he was prepared.
Hey gang, all right, this has been a excerpt from our Digital Factory Mastermind Program session on leadership and digital transformation. Now, there's a couple key elements that we want you to take away from this analysis. Now, number one, transformative leadership and disruptive leadership. Those are the types of leadership that you are going to require in order to digitally transform your business. Now, you're going to need to leverage conflict theory. This is a great example of using conflict theory. Number three, transformative and disruptive leaders are not liked by everyone, but they are respected for their results. Number four, transformative and disruptive leaders build teams of people who will run through brick walls on values, principles, and missions. That's why Jobs said, offered 3 times more. Number five, transformative and disruptive leaders are enablers. And number 6, last but not least, transformative and disruptive leaders trust the innovators. Thanks guys for watching this disruptive leadership analysis. There'll be a link below to join Mastermind. Thank you to EasyVPN for sponsoring this video. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.